Derick Giwner along with the Buckeye, Matt Rose, here to talk about Ohio's Super Night at Northfield Park for Sunday, September the 5th. They have a huge card, 8 $300,000 races, and a $20,000 guarantee pick 5, and that's what we're going to discuss here today. It starts in race number 6 with the $300,000 three-year-old filly Pace. And for me, this race, when I looked at it, I saw two horses that I was most interested in here, the 2 Summer Touch and the 3 Smooth as Tennessee Whiskey. I actually got that right. I was a little worried about my pronunciation there. One of the reasons why I like these two is I see them as the early speed of the race going to the front. I think the other speed is in posts 7 and 8, and I just don't see any way that they're letting them get there. The only other horses in the race that look like they have a chance to me are the 1 Screaming Demon and the 6 Dragons Lucky Lady. Screaming Demon stuck in a 3-hole might be a tough spot for a horse that doesn't seem to have a lot of early speed. And Dragons Lucky Lady almost seems destined to come away last, and it's hard to win from last at Northfield.
Yeah, you mentioned that the two horses that kind of stick out to you, the 2 and the 3, and somehow I don't think you're alone. I think most of the wagering public is going to zero in, at least on the 3 inside horses. The 1 Screaming Demon with Ronnie Wren Jr., Summer Touch, Chris Page for Ron Burke, and I have a feeling you'll see plenty of Ron Burke horses, mostly successful Sunday night. And the 3, you are correct, Smooth as Tennessee Whiskey. And you're focusing on 2 horses, the 2 and the 3. I'm focusing on just 1 horse, and that is the 3 Smooth as Tennessee Whiskey. She's going to be my key, leading off this pick 5 sequence. I liked her from the first time I saw her when she rallied very nicely from off the pace at Northfield. Nice sweeping move to win going away at a decent price. And yeah, I'll pat myself on the back. I had her that evening. Since then, it's been like a kind of a learning process with her, and she's added early speed to her arsenal. I love her effort last week. She raced an overnight race here in Northfield in the Open Fillies and Mares, the handicap. Sat a nice pocket trip and was just out sprinted by, a more accomplished rival in Dojea Rita, who's been a force in the open class all season. And she was right there at the wire. I think it was a perfect tune-up for this race, and that's why I'm expecting big things from her on Sunday, and I'm going to go ahead and key her. She'll probably be, if not the favorite, then very close to the favorite. I think the money would be split between these 3, but not an overwhelming favorite. And I don't see a reason to use multiple horses when you're going to have 2 or 3 horses that are under 3 to 1 in this race probably. So my stab is Smooth as Tennessee Whiskey. That's my key in the first leg.
It's worth noting that we'll have free harness IPPs and live video for the entire card, DRF.com/harness. We're going to move on to race number 7. It's the 2-year-old filly trot for $300,000. And we're going to take a look at some video of the favorite in here, Gabby's C-Note, from a win on August the 5th. And you'll see she just blows this field away, Matt.
Yeah, I was able to take command towards the half, pretty much after the quarter. Once there, rated and kicked away with ease. And now she's back at Northfield. She's got the rail, which it could be a little tricky when you have these young trotters when they hit that first turn and barrel in, make a left turn. Chris Beaver, who's gonna again like Ron Burke, you see multiple Chris Beaver entrants on Sunday night's card, and he's been a dominant force in these Ohio side races for years, and there hasn't been much letting up with him. So, you know what? Just by virtue of the draw, there's some quality talent in here, but she just looks a touch faster than these at this point. And assuming there's no happenstance early on, I think Merriman makes his way to the front at some point with the filly, and much like in the clip we just saw, I don't see anything coming from behind and beating her. So will she be a short price? Yeah, but I think a deserving short price. And I don't know how you looked at the race, but she's another key for me.
Yeah, I keyed her in here too. I mean, it's a 2-year-old filly trotter on a half-mile track, so you try to find ways to beat a horse, but you look and she's got 3 sub 157 wins, and no one else in the field has won quicker than 157. I mean, she's seriously just a second or so faster than the rest of the field. And unless she makes a miscue, and she did once before when she had the 8-hole about 4 starts back, unless she makes a miscue, she's probably going to win this race. So I couldn't figure out the horse that I would say, like, okay, so I'm going to toss her out and I'm going to go with this other one because this one looks really. There's like, if you toss her out, you're looking at like 6 of them that you got to go with, and that seemed a little deep to me. She's the most logical horse. She should win this race, and we're going to move on to race number 8. It's another $300,000 final. This one on the pace for the 2-year-old fillies, and this race is a little bit more wide open the way I see it. And we're going to take a look at some video of the favorite in here, the 6-for-6 Sea Silk, who is on the lead here, and the one coming at him is Cape Cod Hanover. These two hooked up there. They'll hook up again here, but they have a big post differences here.
Yeah, I mean, Sea Silk is perfect, but for people that have watched her race, especially at Northfield, as you see her under just mild encouragement, holding sway easily. That was a Scioto. She's back at Northfield, and she's not the smoothest. Her name is Sea Silk, but she certainly is not smooth as silk from what I've seen from her thus far. Her 2 starts, which were 2 wins at, I believe, 5 cents of the dollar each time in Northfield, she did not look that smooth. She was throwing her head about in that first start here back in July, kind of throwing her head about. Her last start at Northfield, she was a little unsettled behind the gates, and may have actually broke stride a little bit, way before as the field was assembling on the backstretch. Yeah, once she put her mind on business, she was fine and she won. But I remember coming out of that race last week saying, wow, she's a big favorite in the final. I'm definitely going to try to beat her. Meanwhile, she's got the 8-hole now, and I don't know how much pure early speed she has. I don't know where she's going to get away in here. So this, yes, of all of the Sire Stakes finals and of this Pick 5 sequence, this is the race where there might be the most chaos. So you know what? I went into this. I went before the draw. I went into this knowing I'm just going to try to beat Sea Silk. Clearly, I'm going to try to continue to beat her. Who am I beating her with? I don't know. And that's why on my ticket, since I have 2 keys in the first 2 legs, and I think if there's going to be a weird result, it's going to be in this race. And I use the always popular all button. If I was going to narrow it down to 5 horses of the 8 or something, my ticket's cheap enough where I might as well just use an all and hope that one of these talented fillies can trip out in a race that might be contentious pace. Excuse me. And this is my race where I'm aiming for a price.
Mm-hmm. I didn't quite see it that way. I went a little bit different way. I'm a little chalky in here as I am in a lot of these legs because a lot of these horses look really good. I think the horse to beat is Cape Cod Hanover from the inside. I mean, one loss in 6 starts. The one loss came to Sea Silk that we just saw. Has been really good. Has the early speed to utilize the inside post position. I think she'll gun out, come away no worse than second here. Whether Sea Silk can make the front or not, I don't know. I haven't seen that big early speed from her, but I respect the fact that, she just keeps going, and she's just a really good filly. I think Hop Shot Temptress is the other horse I'm throwing on my ticket. A lot for her, I think, is going to come down to what Sea Silk does. If Sea Silk leaves and ends up getting parked behind, by Cape Cod Hanover, and she's sitting in the pocket, Hot Shot Temptress has a huge shot. She ends up sitting the 3-hole, has to come first over. Then it becomes a little bit more difficult. But I see these 3 as the most logical winners in this race, and whether or not that'll end up working out that way, time will tell. I'm looking at the next race as my more wide open race, and that is race number 9. It's the $300,000 2-year-old Colt Trot, and here's where I look at a horse like Gabby's Bitcoin, who I think will be the favorite in the race. And I say, this is a horse I can beat from post position number 7. I don't see, him as that far and away better. Yeah, he has the fastest win time, but I don't think it's so fast, and he's so much more dominating that he can't, mess this up here. So this is the race where I went a little deeper, Matt.
Okay. Listen, I spread also in this race. I did go 4 deep. I did use Gabby's Bitcoin, and I agree. deserves to be one of the favorites, or if not the favorites, along with another Chris Beaver trainee, Caviar Gold from the rail. But I went 4 deep. I used those two. I also used the two Chulo, where Yannick Giwner was in town last week. Drove him and unfortunately made a break, a fluky type break. I think Yannick probably should have settled back early, and instead he kind of was challenging between horses in the first turn, trying to secure the front, and he was sandwiched, and he just jumped it off. So we don't really know what he has or how much talent he has. He looked pretty good for the Per Emblem stable before that. They also threw in the 4, the Mighty Hill, Brett Miller, another Chris Beaver trainee, and this guy's done absolutely nothing wrong, and decent mid-pack post, shown plenty of speed. I think he could be there as well. So I went 4 deep in a race that, there certainly are no standouts, and there should not be, an odds-on favorite or anything like that. I think that the 107 will take a lot of money, but I don't think the 4s, the 6, who I did not use, Slim Jimmy, has shown a lot of talent for the stable, stable.ca. So. Yeah, I don't blame you for going deep in this race.
Yeah, we'll show the tickets at the end, so if you're not copying down the numbers, you'll get the full tickets here. I used Caviar Gold, mostly because I couldn't figure out a way not to use Caviar Gold. The position is really perfect for this horse. I mean, and really, he's been really good the entire series, so you got to use him on your ticket. Rose Run Extra, I felt like this is a horse that could just luck out. The Mighty Hill is on my ticket, and he should be leaving. Slim Jim, Anthony McDonald seems to leave with just about all of these horses. Gabby's Bitcoin almost has to leave. So there's a lot going on here. I thought Rose Run Extra could just kind of get lucky, by sitting chilly. And even though that horse, he actually shows some speed at times, the Mighty Hill just makes sense as a horse that should leave and be in good position. Slim Jimmy, I am not the biggest fan of playing the Anthony McDonald driven horses, but he has done really well with this particular one and quite a few of them. And this is a spot where he's going to be a good price. And at a good price, I'm willing to throw him on my ticket and take a shot here. So I went 1, 3, 4, and 6, and we're going to move on to race number 10. It's the $300,000 3-year-old Colt Pace, and this one has a 3 to 5 morning line in Charlie May. We're going to take a look at his video from his last victory, and he's first over here, and he kind of says, "Hey, I'm just too good for you."
Yeah, that was he was 5 cents of the dollar, and Heart of Chewbacca was the only other horse that took any money, and gave him a little bit of a tussle. But Brett Miller is pretty confident here, able to edge by late. I was thinking before the draw came out that, maybe Heart of Chewbacca, certainly the talent is there. Maybe if he draws well, this could be the week that he upsets Charlie May. But Charlie May draws the 2, Heart of Chewbacca ends up with the 8. And listen, for anyone that's seen the Milstein, we know that Charlie May made that huge brush down the backstretch. Heart of Chewbacca was in front of Charlie May and looked to be revving up to make that similar move. He broke. Who knows? Who knows how close they would have been at the wire in that race had Heart of Chewbacca, not broken stride. Anyway, now he's stuck in post 8. How hard is he going to have to be used to get anywhere close to Charlie May? I would say it's possibly an impossible task. And just the way the draw shook out, Charlie May, like you mentioned, is a 3 to 5 morning line. And are we looking at a 210 payoff on the win end? Is it probably? And is he deserving of a 210 payoff? Yeah, I got to be honest. The way favorites get crushed, in the wagering, this guy, and I might mention there's no place to show wagering in this race. So certain people looking for that 5 cents of the dollar payoff might be disappointed. They'll have to take him on the win end. And when I was thinking of maybe this will be the week where I'm going to use Heart of Chewbacca. Oh well, Charlie May is my key, and he's going to be everyone else's key. So if you make it to the last leg, you're going to be sitting on a 1 to 9 shot to get you home.
No, I agree here. Charlie May's the key, and we're not going to see any big moves in this race. His move is going to be going to the front, and everyone else's move is going to be chasing him around the track. I mean, it's almost impossible to figure out a way where you see Charlie May losing this race unless something, goes awry for him. I mean, he looks that much the best. Let's take a look at our tickets. We'll pop my ticket up on the board. I have a $24 play. You can see the numbers up on the screen. Where I'm hoping to catch a little value is race 9. Hopefully the 3, 4, or 6 can win there. If the 1 ends up winning, you know what? I thought about taking him out and saving the $6, but if he ends up winning, you know what? We'll get our $24 back, even with all the other favorites in the sequence. Matt spent a little bit more. He might have a little trouble making that $32 back if this comes in with the favorites.
Come on. First of all, don't forget it's a dollar minimum at Northfield Park. Dollar minimum on the pick 5. So you have to be a little bit either spread more or be a little bit more precise. But it is a dollar minimum. I mentioned the 2 keys in the first 2 legs, and again, in the first leg, Smoothest Tennessee Whiskey is not like a mega favorite. The money's going to be spread between the inside 3 horses. Gabby C. Note, we mentioned Merriman, Chris Beaver. I'm looking to beat Cape Cod, Hanover, and/or Sea Silk, spreading the 9th like you did, and not to be disrespectful for the rest of the field in the 10th race. It's just, Charlie May deserves all the accolades, and he deserves all the all the TV time, so to speak. There's my key, paying $210 and hope to get him home. $32.
Well, we have
dollar minimum.
2 tickets up on the board, one for 24, one for 32. It's a $20,000 guaranteed pick 5. Starts in race 6 on a huge 16 race cards that gets underway at 6 p.m. on Sunday night at Northfield. Free harness IPPs, free live video up on the website, drf.com/harness. Good luck.